Then he called for the last time, raised his voice, heated up in excitement, and shouted at the black water. Defiled the black water on the walls were beaten and sounded equal to a basin. With this sound the Uthra sat in the clouds, and the Lord of Greatness sat down in his own hiding place. I now, Yawarziwa, the messenger, the chief of all messengers, spoke. In the power of the great mystery that dwells with me, and in the power of my father's life, I opened the gate, took the high staff, and showed him. Then his eye contracted with a tear, and he covered over himself. I tied him up and threw him in front of me, Yawar, son of Yawar. Then I brought a chain that is heavier as all his worlds, which are 10,000 times as heavy as himself, and put them around Ur, the chief of the whole army of darkness. I shook his bones, and he screamed and cried, Woe, woe, my lord. Even his mother screamed and cried over her son. I said to her, O Ruha, go and sit still. Life sent me against him in anger. I appointed 4 guardians over him. I threw him on the face and wrapped him in 4 cloths. I made 4 corners on them, 1 to the west, 1 to the east, 1 to the north, 1 to the south. In the west I placed Azaziel, Takfel, and Margazel over him, a great one who is angry with his comrades. They take care of him. In the east I placed 4 others over him, Urpel, Marpel, Takfel, and Hanel, who will soon have mercy on you, will soon threaten you. In the north I sat over him, Kanfan and Kafan, Gubran and Guban, and who is strong and sprightly about you. They are paying attention to you. In the south I put 4 others over you, Hylel, whose power is great, Karbel, Nurel, and Nuriel. The fire against he and the angels his companions, let go, they take care of you. When I had used them, I was achieved. Ur did nothing, and taught me about this world of black water, which was to be the abode of Ur until Abathur is created. I went up to the house of light and said to my father, You and be well tempered, for Ur is vanquished and prostrated. Life kissed me with its pure mouth, caressed and kissed me, revealed to me and said to me, Hibble, pure mana, Yoshamin has created 3 sons. One of them guards the nest, one of his parents, one lives with his father, one that Abathur goes to the world you've been in. He sees his face in black water and his image, and his son will come to him out of the black water, liberated. When life, my father, spoke thus, Abathur arose, opened the Tor, looked into the black water, and in the same hour his image formed in the black water. Tahil was formed and rose to a border town. Abathur looked inquiringly at Tahil and spoke to his son Tahil. Come, come, Tahil, it's you. I'm in the black water. I watched in the black water. When he saw him in his own form, as he was wearing 7 garments, he was dressed in all kinds of colors. He took them off and took her away from him. He clothed him with his splendor and covered him with his light. But he, Tahil, did not ascend to the worlds of light because he was afraid of his parents. Abathur put him on the border, and he said to him, Stay, Tahil, sitting in this place of yours until life is asking for you to get to know you. When Abathur spoke thus, I, Yawar Hibble, addressed Abathur and spoke to him, Rejoice in the son whom you have created. He will give you and be partners and helpers. When I spoke to him like this, Abathur stood up in front of me, bowed in reverence to me, Hibble Uthra, and said, Yes, by your power is the son of Tahil arisen and was given to me. Then I spoke to him, Examine what you expect from this world, that such a plan could arise. Take care that you commission Tahil, foolish one, to be wise to do something that he does not understand. But he didn't listen to that. What I told him, I went up to my parents. Abathur now gave him the order and said to him, O Tahil, my son, create a compaction in the black water. He set about compacting, but it did not come to pass, since he stood there thoughtfully and said to his father, Father, I took of those 7 vestments in which I was created, and he entered the water, but there was no compaction of the earth. When his father said to him, You fool, take care of yourself, take care of me to put it the same. Take thou from the 7 garments of splendor, of the light and glory with which I have clothed you, and throw into the black water, so that now a compaction is formed. When he heard this from his father Abathur, he got up, took from those 7 garments of splendor, light, and glory. When he threw himself on the black water, the earth condensed into a compaction of 12,000 miles, and the whole world stood there, that black waters formed a perimeter around the world. Then I raised my voice against Tahil. He was afraid of my voice. He was afraid of my speech. He stretched himself on the compaction, and he cried out, Woe to me that this Hibble is he, and he has raised his voice against me. When I saw him in such fear, I was kind to him, caused him, and said to him, Do and do right, and complete your works from your father, and from the life that is far from you. When I had told him this, I surrounded the compaction which he formed with 7 walls. There he was in thought how Ruha devised a plot against him, and said to him, From what did you come into being, Tahil, that your figure is so beautiful? To which he replied to Ruha, Out of this I was created, I came into being, and I was educated. When Ruha heard this from Tahil, her heart strengthened, and she spoke to him, You come from me. She then got up, stepped in front of her son and said to him, Why are you crouching there, my hero, and why are you lying down? Well, sleep with me, then someone will become like you to me, and he will free you from your bondage. When he heard this from his mother, he tried to climb up, but he did not approach her. She saw him and cried over because the burden weighed heavily on him. She now made herself a vessel immediately and slept in it. She became pregnant by him and gave birth to 7 sons. When she saw them, she spat them out in front of them and said, I was looking, but I didn't see it. What should I do now, since she said, I will go back and lie down with him? She went there again, lay down with him, and got into another pregnancy of 12 sons. When she saw them, she cried over them and said to them, What do you look like, my sons? You have no, and you are not like your father. Now I know in my soul that I cannot have confidence in this world. When they heard from their mother, they became bitter. They grasped, they took each other by the hand, and sat down in the bosom of clouds of mist. They were created by themselves. She then spoke to them, Where are you going? Now comes the man who tied up your father and arrested him. Then each of them wept over himself, and they spoke, Woe, why were we born? I, Yawar Hibble, the pure Mana, stood by them and wanted them to make them look like they've never been there. I thought and said, What should I start with these fiends who are not like those giants who I have looked in the lower worlds? No, I will let you that you run the course of this world and walk the course of this world. When I said this, life showed itself in its fullness without shortage. I called to them and spoke to them, and their hearts fell from down the support. Ruha wept over them and said to them, This, the man who called you, is the murderer of your father. Each and every one of them rooted the earth by his excitement. Tahil exclaimed, Woe, the compaction that I created became uprooted to me. What do you want me to do? Then I said to Tahil, I am not afraid of you. Now I have to deal with those who act like that. Then I called to them and said to them, Do not be afraid. I will take you and give you a residence. When I spoke to them like that, they did nothing. So I asked her, What are your works? Then they said, Lord, do everything you wish. Just be kind to us, strange man. Then I called Samis the sun by his name, then Sin the moon, Kewan Saturn, Bel Jupiter, Dlibat Venus, Nibu Mercury, and Nerig Mars. I gave each of them a name and spoke to them. I lend you carriages in which you should sit down. I'll dress you with a wondrous garment and give you splendor, that you may shine in this world. Then they all took Samis, their eldest brother, and spoke to him. You shall be our king, and Dlibat shall be our queen in the world. We all want to be subordinate to you. When I heard this from them, I brought them a boat. Then I told Sarwan, and Sarwan, take care of the boat and be assistant to Samis, the head of the phalanx, the oldest among his brother. The two Uthras did not deviate from what I told them. I put them now in the vehicle, and they lit up the world 360,000 years in their desert state. Then I, Yawar, reflected and said, I will create Adam. Then I called the planets and said to them, form the physical to take shape. So they formed them as I had told them. Then I brought the soul out of the treasure of the mighty life, which was hidden in the house of the Nitufta, which the soul was great in the Tana, and threw them into the body of Adam. Then I created his wife Hawa, that this world might be awakened and strengthened. I will be the transmitter of souls that are born here, and beyond them are Uthras, who ascend and enter the outer ether, and the place from which they were created, until the measure of this world is full, and they ascend, and their primal father, life, is recognizable to Mandadahaya and his son Hibble, who arranges the ranks of life of the mighty in glory. Live our knowing, live our understanding, live the men who teach us. Life is fixed in its shkinta. Life is victorious over all works, and Yawar Ziwa is victorious, and his helpers and disciples. Second piece. In the name of the great first life, the radiance and light of life has risen, and Mandadahaya has revealed himself to shame all worlds. He crashed all the gods, and the house perished, and brought discord among all the lords of this world. When they saw the splendor and the light of Mandadahaya, and the splendor and brightness with which the men have proven the thrones of their gods, were bent under together with you. Their ranks were about to rush towards your face, and they stood there ashamed. All the worlds that saw him fell down and fell on their faces. They do not open their eyes and are not able to see the sign and look at the image of the great life. But when the men of proven righteousness saw him, where they were, they were raised up by life and filled with it, and life was lived by the senses. The lords of the house, and they speak to their God, God, you are our image, and we are your image. When strength is in you, so change your shape. Otherwise we want to go and join the light of life. To which he replies to them, my form is as it is, and it will not change in all eternity. There you are talking, woe to us that the works of our hands were without fault, but we are guilty. Why do you weep, peoples and generations? Your heart is attached to something that is not yours. Your kingdom will be turned and turned, and the splendor of your glory fell upon you. They rebel against their God. Curse him and speak to him. Cursed be you, O God, and the spirit that rests in Ruha. Their strength went, they were ashamed in their shkintas, lying and deceit. It was in the gates of their palaces. Darkness went over the works of their hands, and desolate darkness is in their firmament. Their gods bent, ashamed of their way together. About their temples came abundantly in shame. They set themselves to deception and false wisdom, driving and cast them over the face of the earth. The God rose down from the height, took the form of angels, and the angels disguised themselves. They act as demons. Every day they twist the heart of the children of men. They settle on the necks of priests and oracle men, to eat their flesh for satiety, and to drink from their blood. They speak in false wisdom and deception, and change the times. Life revealed itself to the Tibbles, shine, and the light of life went up. When the sea saw it, it turned around, and the Jordan turned backwards. The mountains bounce like deer, and the Hindus in the steppe throw out their young. The heights speak like daughters, and the clouds in honor. The mountains open their mouths and grant praise, and the cedars of Lebanon are collapsing. When the earth saw me, it trembled and trembled, and when the king of the sea saw me, he turned back. Sea, whom did you see and turned back? Jordan, who did you see and turned backwards? Mountains, whom did you see hopping like deer? Hindanen in the steppe, before whom do you throw out your clubs? To whom do you speak in honor like daughters of the clouds? Mountains, before whom do you open your mouth in praise? Cedars of Lebanon, before whom did you break up? Earth, whom did you see and tremble? The king of the sea, whom did you see and turn back? Islands of the sea, before whom did you get confused? Islands of the sea, who are you afraid of? Before the splendor and light of Mandadahaya, the splendor and the brightness with which you praised the men of tried righteousness you dressed. Life poured out over the water and the islands, and they opened their mouths and gave praise to the mighty and strange. And they said, Your name, the life, we did not name, and we did not know fear of you. This is the light of life that revealed itself, and the men it was praised by were proven to be just. Then Mandadahaya spoke to them, I have come to stay with you and to show you in the light of life to sit up. I have separated you from the peoples and generations. I will raise you up in the love of truth, and you shall be truthful before me in the light of life. That light of life is not given to the masters of the house. The wheels of their chariots became confused, and they raised their voices on high, like the voice of the man Himun. The worlds loudly raised their voices in height. El Shaddai uprooted the earth through his miraculous actions in his house, and created his works in the house of the man. Depending on their strength was thrown away. Their rule departed from them. The kingship fell off of their heads. They sat there on their thrones, frozen, and said, Woe, woe, that staring fell on all worlds. Her time was approaching, and they are about to come to an end at the end of the worlds. The great life will be on high, while the gates and the planets will descend to the depths of the earth. The aeons who surround the lower shield, their rule has departed from the height. Your evil thoughts were piling up on her head. It is the voice of life from the fruits, the voice of out of the light, the voice of men of tried smell, from the lower Shkintas who raise in the time of life, judge and speak. We knew death in the Tibble. From the day since we grasped love for life and hatred of death, we trusted because of you and because of your name, life. We were born in the Tibble and followed. Fear and praise, ye men of tried righteousness, that life and life will rest on you. You men of proven righteousness, you will be established and stand upright before me. Shine and be enlightened. Let my light shine upon you, that light and enlightenment, the faces of men of proven righteousness, more than the sons of Sam, the white fruit. The shape of the men of proven righteousness will shine like that in that which is not a mixture. O those who are wise in their own opinion, and before who your own face, your prudence stands. Oh, they say we belong to life, and life is with us, while life is not with them. You have left your heart cut off, robbed. Oh, those who turn sweet into bitter, and bitter into sweet. Oh, those who call good evil, and present evil as good. Oh, who turn darkness into light, and light into darkness. Oh, those who drink wine with young in the morning and old in the evening, and be captured by singing zither and flute. O those who smear themselves with fine oils and the smell of flowers that grow soft in the courtyard, and in the name of the great life and of Mandadahaya, who was with them, no testimony, who did not listen and heard, who did not live life in their sense, who set up the adornment of their courtyard, and who set up their faces turned to the great Suf sea. Worship and praise, ye men of tried righteousness, those whom your eyes see, the strangers from the light, the world which does not have pictorial works and portraits, which the makers of the works of deception did not fall into his hands, and his name, and did not name his figure to the children of men. This is the light of life that is cast down to the bad children of men. Their strength is stopped, and the speech became difficult for them to speak like stammerers. This is the ancient splendor and light that has been from time immemorial. He shone, and with the light from the worlds of victories he illumined the figure, the sign, the voice, the call, the enlightenment, and the miracles. Mandadahaya, this one appeared in all the worlds and all the gods. They stagger over each other and say, how can we be enough to praise Mandadahaya, whose splendor is more extensive than what we praise him with, and his light is richer than what we can glorify him with. His first light became constant, beautiful, and victorious, and his words of the Kushta and his glory rested on his friends. Trust in Mandadahaya like a good shepherd who has sheep, and beware, he keeps away from you and any spirit of apostasy. As a good shepherd who leads his sheep to their hurdle, he will sit you down and plant yourself in front of him. Rejoice and praise him, ye men of tried righteousness. Calm your heart, humble your mind, and stay away from the bad ones. O ye men, the Kushta, whose soul is truthful. A call resounded over all the earth. The splendor of every city went out. Manda Dahaya revealed himself in Judea. A vine appeared in Jerusalem, before which there is no outage. He had not in mind, and he did not have the appearance of an idol. Life is in it, which was from time immemorial, and the Kushta, which from earlier was at the beginning. Open your mind and pray sincerely. Why do you want to sleep? Why do you want to sleep, just like the first sleeper who stumbled and did not put their hands in front of me to the Kushta? Hail, ye men of tried righteousness, whose foreheads and curls are wound on the head, whose merits are miracles, Samer of all the worlds, and your face shines with joy. O you who clothe yourselves with cloaks of various kinds, which you wear in the Tibble, and will be persecuted, but who will not leave the faith, I will clothe your persecutors with shame and disgrace. We trusted in life, we had confidence in life, and Kushta was our escort. We were made great by the size of your knowledge. Life has risen to have mercy on you. For the love of truth and justice, I clothed and covered you like a great armor of the earth of the ethers with justice. With love, who loved Manda Dahaya, there is our one head, a wreath of victories is set up. Well, make my name great in the Tibble, and my praise in all the worlds. Then the light of life that revealed itself will be rewarded with alms and donations. Then your souls, you men of tested righteousness, in the light of life, you will become to shine in each other's splendor. Your name becomes more miraculous than his other names. Your splendor will be more wondrous than the other splendors, and your light will be more wondrous than the sons of lights, each according to his works and reward. My name is in your mouth. Bless and praise you as you walk, your coming and your sitting, your eating and your drinking. When you rest and lie on your bed, the name of the life you remember. To praise, to honor, to glorify, to bless, to consolidate. Furthermore, magnify my name in the Tibble, and my praise sung in all the works. A cry resounded over the whole earth. The splendor went down, and Manda Dahaya revealed himself to all the children of men, and delivered them from darkness to light, to the light of life. Leave the desolate desert and stay away from the deception and the deception of this world. Do not be carried away because of your evil deeds, and stumble not away from life like the first stumbler who stumbled, and their hands were not stretched out before me. Well, great ones of proven justice, stay away from the predatory wolves and the pernicious lions, which people of yours make you stumble. About those who go about in the markets of the Tibble with their body bent while leaving your heart robbed. Do not associate with the wrongdoers whose hands are stained with blood, who sit daily every day on the thrones of rebellion and keep track of the name of life. Fire will burn out of their faces. It will destroy the place between your shoulders and save you from your birth for a punishment of haughtiness. You will be beaten with your own punches without my blow having to hit you. Life is victorious Manda Dahaya and his helpers. This is the overthrow of the whole divinity of the house. Third piece. In the name of the great life, my measure in the world became full of me, and my bills dissolved in the ages. I left the world of darkness and the mixing jug of death. I went there and came to the guardhouse of the greedy, rabid dogs, whose eyes are blinded so they cannot see, whose ears they are so full that they cannot hear. I gave them the name that they did not understand, the name of life. I called them, and they did not understand the name of death, the name of death. I was afraid and afraid of that watch house. I was afraid and my whole body was shaking in my robe. That's when I got a call from the place to the world that says, O man, who you call for life and to which life answers, to live, have firm confidence. You are like a man at the age of 120, a man holding a staff and a rattle in his hand, and behind the cattle comes with it. But suddenly they seize him, clothe him with reverence, cover him with reverence, tie a diadem around him, put him on and make him a king in the cities. Furthermore, you are also a man who lives in a place of 160 miles in dry flat strands, and thirsts for water, and then smells the smell of life. The soul is then equal to the good Anush in his glory. I was walking past that guardhouse when I told myself that I was afraid. Fear and terror are no longer there before me. I went there and came to the guardhouse of the Virgin, the daughter of her father, who has 67 daughters. Their breasts are bared to them for shame, and their sides slashed at them for misdeeds. They take the hearts of the gods and the minds of the children of men. You, they say to him, you man, give us your name and your sign. Out of the waves of the water, out of the treasures of splendor, and from the great baptism of light. I called her my name and my sign, and they were afraid and frightened. They rose up before me and spoke to me, You man, no one should come on your path, and no one should take steps. To this I replied to them, On my path shall the elect come, my steps shall the faithful go. To you, Ruha, splinters will sit in your eyes, and your eyes will get dark in your head. The Nazorians will then ascend and go up and look at the great place of light and the light abode. I was walking past that guardhouse when I told myself that I was afraid. Fear and terror of me are no longer there. I went there and came after another guardhouse, that of Zan Hazazban, the harlot, the brave, the king of the great wrath and destruction. I asked and said, Whose guardhouse is this? Whom is it guarding, and who is in it? I asked, and they said to me, In this guardhouse are those who shed blood and destroy their likenesses. I also asked and said, What things do these souls resemble with the ugly things that they do in the world? I asked, and it said to me, Those souls are like devices of clay, of blackness, and the device is made of copper, which produce dirt and rust, and bring forward to throw them in a device in the footblock, in oppression and enclosure, to be kicked out. They are destroyed, but they don't get sweet. You fry them, but they don't change. Those souls desire for a second death in the world of darkness, but the second death does not come over them. Zan and Hazazban's said this to me, You man, give us your name and your sign, which you from the waves of the water, from the treasures of splendor, and from you have received from the great baptisms of light. I told him my name and my sign. Thereupon Zan Hazazban bowed to me in deep bowing. I was walking past that guardhouse when I told myself that fear and terror of me are no more there. I went and came according to the watch house of Ur, Yahur, and Arhum. I asked and spoke, Whose guardhouse is this? Whom is it guarding, and who is stuck in it? I asked, and they said to me, In this guardhouse is fixed everyone who fought and stole, who swore and lied. I then asked and said, To what things are those souls like the ugly things that they do in the world? I asked, and you said to me, Those souls are like they are thinner than a stick and blacker than the hair on the head. You throw them into a device and a block of feet in oppression, confinement, and punishment, and you kick them and settle. You crush them, but they don't get sweet. You fry them, but they don't become tender. Those souls long for a second death, but the second death does not come upon them. Yuhar, and Arhum spoke to me, O man, give us your name and your sign, which you from the waves of the water, from the treasures of splendor, and have received the great baptism of light. I told him my name and my sign, whereupon Yahur, and Arhum bowed down before me in deep bowing. I was walking past that guardhouse when I told myself that I was afraid. Fear and terror of me are no longer there. I went and came according to another watchhouse, according to that of the Pilpin Pippin. The Ruha Kadusha has been enveloped in dark clouds of fog. I asked and spoke, Whose guardhouse is this? Who is it guarding, and who is stuck in it? in bundles. I asked, and they said to me, in this watch house are the judges and rulers who push the boundaries and move the boundary stones. They are the women who with their milk kill their children and keep the children of their comrades alive, who beg for a fat bite for sweetened cups, that crying, whining, and complaining of their children rises before the big first life on high, the women who sell their milk and hang on their breasts until the day of judgment, until the hours of salvation, because they kill their children and the children of their raising female fairies. I asked and said, to what things do those souls resemble with the ugly works that you practice in the world? I asked, and they talked to me. Those souls are like the fat bucks you suddenly grab, and throwing it on coals, you throw them in a device, in the footblock, in oppression, confinement, and punishment, and they are put down. You crush them, but they will not be sweet, and they will be roasted, but they will not be tender at all. Those guilty souls long for a second death in the world of darkness, but the second death does not come upon them. Pilpin Pippin spoke to me, you man, give us your name and your sign, which you took from the waves of the water, from the treasures, and from the great baptism of light. I called to him my name and my sign, on which Pilpin Pippin bowed in front of me in deep bowing. I was walking past that guard-house when I told myself that I was afraid. The fear and terror of me are no more there. I went and came according to another watch-house, that of the vain Yeshumasiach. I asked and said, whose guard-house is this, and who is bound in it? I asked, and they said to me, in this watch house there is anyone who denies life and confesses Mashiach. I then asked and said, to what things are those souls like with the ugly works that you practice in the world? I asked, and they talked to me. Those souls are like a large and numerous flock of sheep before Mashiach. Mashiach leads them to the sea and places them by the sea. They ask him for water, but the shore of the sea is high, and the water of the sea deep. You want to drink water, but you have none. Then the souls say to Mashiach, Mashiach our Lord, as we were still in the world, we and others clothed with the clothed and wrapped up with envelopes and obtained ransoms and alms, and benefits were granted. Why do we now wish to drink water and have none? Then Mashiach says to the souls, in whose name have you dressed in clothes and wrapped in covers, and made lots of purchases and alms and benefits granted? The souls of Mashiach responded to this, on the name of the upper being, in the name of the lower, in the name of Yeshu Mashiach, in the name of Ruha, in the name of the God of the Nazarenes, and in the name of the young wife, her father's daughter. Then Mashiach said to the souls that the upper being is heaven, the lower being is earth. Yeshu Mashiach, I am. Ruha is here. The man of proven justice passed by him and brought the whole tribe of souls that was with him past him. Mashiach then said to the man of tried righteousness, you man, give us your name and your sign, when you have received from the waves of water, from the treasures of splendor, and from the great baptism that you brought light. I told him my name and my sign. Then Mashiach bowed to me 4 times in deep bowing. The souls then said to Mashiach, Mashiach our Lord, say you did not when we were in that world, there is no greater and stronger than I am. I am the God of gods, the Lord of lords. I am the King of all worlds. I am the head of all works. There is now the man who passed by you, and you bowed 4 times in deep reverence to him. Who is he? To which Mashiach replies to the souls, this man who is attached to me, and before which I bowed 4 times in deep reverence did not mention the name of the superior being, the name of the lower being. He did not name the name of Ruha. He did not mention the name of Mashiach. He did not mention the name that he did not mention the name of the God of the Nazarenes, the name of the virgin of her father's daughter. He did not name. They spoke the souls to Mashiach, Mashiach our Lord, throw us again on 3 days in our body. Then we want to sell all our belongings to the Jordan and come down and tell us the name of this man who passed by. He left and got baptized. But Mashiach replied to the souls, O ye to those who have stumbled, you have stumbled. Did you, when you were still in that world, seen a child who has lost the body of his mother? I would have introduced you back to his mother, that I would have put you back on for 3 days into your body, that you may sell all your possessions, to go down to the Jordan and call on the name of this man who on me has passed, and let them be baptized. Mashiach also spoke to the souls, Don't you know, you who have stumbled, you who have stumbled? I am the vain Mashiach, rubbed for tribulation, wise to evil, the gates of sleep changed, the works of Ruha twisted, the men of God, and they are in the mighty clouds, and sternest throes. When I showed you pegs and keys, I beguiled you and made you greedy. I gave you gold and silver, so that you could give me in darkness in the place where we stand. Keep company. I was walking past that guardhouse when I told myself that I was afraid. Fear and terror of me are no longer there. I went and came according to another watch house, that of Rba. I asked and spoke, Whose guardhouse is this, and who is tied up in it? I asked, and they said to me, In this guardhouse are all the great, and the great are bound. Those who are bound with great bushels, ardebs, are taken, and give with small bushels the interest, and the interest percentages and percentages, which the poor can only take after his, and look at the king only according to his royal dignity, which to push the poor and needy away from their gates, and not to give alms. I asked and said, What things do these souls resemble with the ugly things they do in the world? I asked, and you, they said to me, Those souls are like fat goats that suddenly from their mother that you fry on coals, as you have done, and have told, as they ate, you eat them. The one thing you increase to them sevenfold, and wrath comes upon them, whose guilty souls a second death in the world of wisheth second death in the world of darkness, but it does not come about them. Rba said to me, You man, give us your name and your sign, which you took from the waves of the water, from the treasures of life, and from the great baptism of light. I called to him my name and my sign, whereupon Rba bowed 4 times in front of me in a deep bow. I was walking past that guardhouse when I told myself that I was afraid. Fear and terror of me are no longer there. I went there and came according to another guardhouse, that of Rutha Kudsha, which is on the mouth the devourer. Karafiun is sitting. The harp of lust is on her shoulder, and she complains with her 660 offspring. Either viper is around you. She speaks with zithers, and calls the 12 men traitors who are committed to her. These speak to her, Our mistress, why did you call us, and why do you want us? I would like to, she replies to them, have called you, and you have been saved by me, and wished for the same oil and bad luck on the mouth of the devourer Karafiun. She holds a rattle in her hand and sits on her mouth, the devourer Karafiun. She rattles after the 12 wickets, the belief in them, and throws them into it. She says to them, Go, go, my children, I will close the gate and follow you. You, walking around in the mouth of the Karafiun, and cannot get along, and grope to go and lean on them. The man of proven righteousness passed by him, and brought to him the whole tribe of souls. Then woke up the devouring Karafiun, and said to Ruth HaKadusha, Where have you been? Why didn't you hand over to me the man who passed by? Is it happening? And she said to him, At that time and in that hour your mouth resembled an ant's slit, which when a wind comes and a leaf falls out becomes clogged. The man of proven justice climbed up and looked at the outer ether and the light residence. Then life spoke to him, Man of proven justice, to what things does the world equalize? The one you came for, who likes Ruha, Mashiach, and the planets in your guardhouses? The man of proven experience replied to him, Justice, Ruha, Mashiach, and the planets are like flies that fly on sitting on the edge of a pot. Their wings are hit by the steam who comes up to them so that they fall into the pot. Life rejoiced and clothed the man of tried and tested righteousness with splendor. It brought light and covered him with it. It provided in the place of safety, in the place from which one searches and finds. You ask and it is granted. Life is victorious over all works. Victorious is the tribe of the Nazorians who stuck to the name of Yawar, and victorious is Manda Dahaya and those who love his name. This is the book, my measure in the world, which became full to me. The fourth piece, in the name of the great life. These are the sayings of Johanna the Baptist when he crossed the Jordan of the living water, baptized with the living baptism, and gave the name of life and talked about it. Manda Dahaya went to Johanna the Baptist and said to him, Johanna, baptize me with your baptism with which you baptize, and talk and tell me something about the name you used to pronounce. Then Johanna said to Manda Dahaya, my stomach is hungry for food, and my body thirsty for drink. I collect herbs and true silences. I long for peace, but the souls are pressing on me. Now the morning should break. Come, and then I will baptize you. As Manda Dahaya stood there, he raised his eyes to the place where all shined, according to the great place that is all light, and spoke a prayer, which was very great and not small. He said, to you I address a request, to the first life, the second life, the third life, to Yofin Yufafin, to Sam, the well-kept mana, to the vine, the great tree, which is completely healed, at Osar High and Tahai, who create the creation of life and the planting of the light planting. I am making a very great, not a small request to you. About this hour in which I stand, I ask about the 12 hours of the day and the 12 hours of the night, over the 24 hours, that they should be equal to 1 hour. The wheels of the day are the wheels of the night, are those of the day. Sleep and slumber may come upon the eyes of Johanna. He slumbered and laid there, and let his soul be equal to the good Anush in his glory. Immediately I want to ask him and talk to him about baptism, with whom he baptizes in this hour in which we stand. Manda Dahaya goes and comes from the place of all splendor, from the place that is completely light, from the place where he is over the 12 hours of the day and the 12 hours of the night. They are granted. They will be like an hour. The wheels of the day were taken away. They became those of the night. The wheels of the night were gone. They became those of the day. It was evening. It was tomorrow. It became night. It became day. Sleep and slumber came over the eyes of Johanna. He slumbered and slept. Then he woke up and sneezed, but his right hand over his put his right hand over his eyes, and rubbed the sleep out of his sight. Then Manda Dahaya said, "Greetings to you, Master Johanna, the great fountain of great honor." Then Johanna said to Manda Dahaya, "Come in peace, little boy, whom I already ordered to Jordan yesterday. Today I will not deceive you." That's when Manda Dahaya spoke to Johanna. "Well, let the Jordan flow freely. Spread out your arms, accept me, baptize me with your living baptism, with which you will, and speak about me something of the name that you pronounce, and take care of it." Johanna replied to Manda Dahaya, 42 years I took the Jordan. I baptized people in the water, and still got me no one called to the Jordan. Now I want to be with you, little boy of 3 years and a day. Go to the Jordan." Then Manda Dahaya asked Johanna, "What is the baptism with which you are baptized? Is it Mashiach?" Then Johanna said to Manda Dahaya, "I throw the people in the Jordan like sheep before the shepherd. I'm moving with my to pour water over them and speak the name of the life over them." Then Manda Dahaya asked Johanna the Baptist, "Whose name do you speak about them at the baptism you baptize?" Then all the disciples opened up their mouths like one and spoke to Johanna. "For 42 years you have been performing baptism, and you have never, and there has never been one called to you from to the Jordan except for this little boy. Verily, and do not pay attention to the words that he spoke." The disciples urged Johanna, and Johanna got up and went into the Jordan, and let the Jordan flow freely, spread his arms, received Manda Dahaya, And he said to him, Come, come, little boy of 3 years and 1 day, the smallest among his brothers and the oldest among his fathers, who is small but whose speeches are significant. Then Mandadahaya went to Johanna on the Jordan. When Mandadahaya saw him, he jumped and hopped towards him and hopped over its banks. Johanna stood above the first mouth in the water, and under the first mouth between the waters. He swims and does not have the strength to stand. Mandadahaya saw John and was grieved about him. The radiance of Mandadahaya pressed on the Jordan, and when the Jordan saw the splendor of Mandadahaya, he turned backwards, and Johanna stood on dry land. Mandadahaya then approached Johanna and said to him, Baptize me with your pure baptism, and say something of the name about me, which you used to pronounce. Then Johanna said to Mandadahaya, 1,000 times 1,000 men I have let it descend into the Jordan, and 10,000 times I baptized 10,000 souls in the water. A man who has not yet passed through my hands, now it's here. What shall I baptize you in? Then Mandadahaya said to Johanna, As far as the water goes, go you too, and I want to go with you. Baptize me with your pure baptism, with whom you used to baptize, and say about me something of the name which you used to pronounce. As far as the Jordan receded, and when the water was dry, Johanna went there, and Mandadahaya went with him. The splendor of Mandadahaya spread over the Jordan and its banks. The fish opened their mouths from the sea, the birds from the two shores of the world ocean. They praised Mandadahaya and spoke to him. Blessed be you, Mandadahaya. Blessed be the place from which you be. He praised and strengthened be the great place to which you are going. As the voice of the fish from the sea and the voice of the birds having penetrated from the two shores of the world ocean into the ear of Johanna, he knew that it was Mandadahaya who went with him. Then Johanna spoke to Mandadahaya, You are the man in whose name I am the living baptism baptizing. In whose name do you baptize? He asked him. On it Johanna replied to Mandadahaya, In the name of the one who is open to me, in the name of the future one who is to come, as well as the well-being, Mana, who is to reveal himself. Now you put your hand to the kushta and your great right of healing to me, and talk about me and your planting that you planted. And let the first and the last be confirmed to your name. Then Mandadahaya said to Johanna, When I put my hand on, if you lie down, you will be eliminated from your body. Then Johanna spoke to Mandadahaya, I saw you, now I don't want to be here anymore. I have seen you and reached you, now I ask you for kushta. Do not damn me away from you, from the place from which you came to be, and arm me and give me orders for the great place to which you shouldst be gracious to me, and reveal to me about the mysteries of the kings, about the great fruit of the light, about the anvils and the fruits of the earth, knowing what they are pressed on, over the anvils of water from which the living fire spreads, in which the life dwells, to know who is earlier and greater than the other. When Mandadahaya heard this, Johanna, he took off his dress to him in the Jordan. He took off his dress to him from flesh and blood. He clothed him with a robe and covered him with a good and pure turban of light. Mandadahaya continued on his way to the place of all splendor, after the place which is light, and Johanna went with him. The fish from the sea and the birds from the two shores of the world ocean, they gathered over the body of Johanna and covered it. As Johanna saw his body, he was grieved over it. Then Mandadahaya spoke to Johanna, Why are you grieved over the flesh and blood that I undressed you? If you want, I will put you back in the same. And then Johanna said to Mandadahaya, Blessed and blessed be the man who stripped me of the robe of flesh and blood, made me and has redeemed and freed me. Praised, glorified, and consolidated and honored be the chosen man who dresses me with the robe of splendor and covered with the good pure turban of light, in which I was. No, I grieve for my children who are full of zeal, which I had to leave behind without anyone to instruct them. Then Mandadahaya replied to him, Who in your mind and in your heart will also dwell in the mind and in the heart of your children? My son, I know why you grieve. Then Johanna spoke to Mandadahaya, You too know the hearts and see through the senses. The hearts, the liver, and kidneys are spread out before you like the sun. You split a hair and see what's in it. You realize what's in light and what is in darkness. So this mouth spoke in glorious from the foam of water and from the orphans of the water. Then Manda Dahaya took sand from the sea and from the two shores of the world ocean, stood down and threw it over the body of Johanna, and on that day the covering of the bodies happened. Manda Dahaya continued on his way to the place that was completely shining, after the place which is quite light, and Johanna went with him. He went and came after the watch house of the saint Tahil, the rod of splendor, and is cut off from the light, which light is cut off from. He left his community, it set him apart, and let him sit there alone. When Tahil beheld Mandadahaya, his throne bowed down under him. He rose from him and praised and blessed Mandadahaya, and spoke to him. Blessed be you, Mandadahaya, blessed be the place from which you have come, and blessed, glorified, and strengthened be the great place which you are going to. Be merciful to me before the mighty life and the height which has fallen over me and tied me up, and has not let him ascend to see life on high. Then Mandadahaya said to Johanna, Tell this noble that the forgiveness of life is granted to him. Even you, the men, I have made him like one of the kings, like the great Uthras from the house of glory. Go, deliver the words to him. Then Johanna said to Tahil, The forgiveness of life has been granted to you and your father, the Uthra, the man who equipped you and sent him there. Mandadahaya continued on his way to the place that was completely shining, according to the place which is quite light. He left and came after the house of high Abathur, 1,000 times 1,000 standing there around, and raised his eyes to him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stand before him at his service. They hold high his throne, which is high, and on which he sits. When Abathur saw Mandadahaya, he got up from his throne. Then Mandadahaya said to Abathur, Stay, Abathur, on your throne, which is high, magnificent, and preserved, which the mighty life has given to you. Then Abathur spoke to Mandadahaya, When you go, remember me before life. That's when Mandadahaya spoke to Abathur, When I go, speak and tell, so they will come and take your throne among the men, the sons of salvation, and lift it up. If I go and speak and be well heard, so 2 angels will come from above. You will meet the high between the top of your Shkinta and the mighty life. They will make you and hear to speak to you, and they will let them hear the mighty life, and say that Mandadahaya has gone to Abathur Kushta. Mandadahaya continued on his way to the place that was completely shining, after the place which is quite light, and Johanna went with him. They went and came to the 4 men, the sons of salvation, In-Hai, life source, Shum-Hai, life name, Ziwa-Hai, life gloss, Nura-Hai, life light. The man of tried righteousness took him, Johanna, and put him in the place of safety. He took Johanna by the hand and put him in the place of safety. The Uthras showered him with orders of prayers, masses, and hymns and languages. Come, let's go and see the man who came from the Tibble, the man of proven righteousness, who is truly and firmly of faith, and has remained in the midst of the evil plots and under the throne of the ancient Abathur. Each individual clothes him with a part of his shine, each one covers him with a part of his light. They sprang up and clothed him with garments of living fire, which were without the end and number. Johanna now stood there in the place of all splendor, in the place of all that is light. He stood there in a faith that was very great and not small. And Johanna said, To you I make a request, the first life, the second life, the third life, to Yofen Yofafin, to Sam, the well-kept mana, to the vine that lives entirely, to the great Osar Hai, to Ptah Hai, who created the great life, the planting of the light, and the first in the house of life. To you I address a very large, not a small request, according to this hour in which I am standing, and speaking of this ascension with which I ascended. May it all be true, and the people of faith who with the sign of the baptized with pure baptism, and over which the name of the great first life is spoken of. Blessed be life, life is victorious, and victorious is the man who went here. In the name of the great life, the Lord of greatness, and shown through the Uthras, his sons. This is the mystery of the book of Silmai, the Lord of the house. In the name of the one who came, in the name of the one who comes, and in the name of him who shall come, in the name of that strange man who penetrated through the worlds, came and split the firmament, and opened the face. He enlightened and came to the shkintas of all the planets, and directed and sat on the throne, and sat on it. The good one pondered, recognized, and he taught himself about the past, present, and future, and about the mountain, Mount Carmel. He came and found the 7 and the 12 heroes in their hands, and over the months, years, and days, seconds, hours of birth, and times, Awath, the coming Ruha, came calling every single man, and she commissioned every single man with works. She commissioned them, and sent them into this world. She also called Silmai, the lord of the house, and said to him, Silmai, lord of the house, get up early in the morning. Go to the bank of the Jordan, and to the good containers of remedies. Wash your hands in Kushta, and clean your fingers in the light and powerful water Jordan. Climb up and go before your father Yathrun, the perfect man. When your father, when he sees you, he will show you the kingship, the goodness and glory of these. Let the world go, like Awath, the lying Ruha, to Silmai, the lord of the house. So he went, and he got up early in the morning, went to the shore of the Jordan, and of the large good container of remedies. He washed his hands in Kushta, and cleaned his fingers in the light, powerful water of the Jordan. He rose before his father Yathrun, the man rising to the height, bent his body and bowed down to his father. When his father saw him, the good man who had never seen him before was angry. The good man who had never been angry was angry. He wanted he wanted the trampling of the earth, Tibble, corrupting him, bringing him to the great spheres of the firmness, and they hang on their face to the face of the earth do they plunge. Before him stood 362 disciples. Then they spoke to her father, the perfect man. You have, O Yathrun, in yours and your baptism, you will be told that at the gate there is no anger or anger in the house of life. When you are at Silmai, the lord of the house, to search for the ordinances and the words, the depths of Nazarutha and the interpretations of this world, if he gives it to you, let him have a throne among men, as his fathers, and let his fathers build it. Are you looking for him, and he will grant it to you? Not so he may. If not so, he may go back to that world from which he came. The good man calmed down and said to him, Silmai, master of the house, a word is to me from the house of life about the orders, characteristics, and words, about the depths of Nazarutha and of this world, where sit this earth and where it came from, where the anvil is placed, and to whom the great Hus was given. To this he replied, My father, this earth has been fixed in forges. The anvil is supported on the black water. The great Hus is given to the lyre. Then he said to him, Beautiful is what you told me. Beautiful are the secret words that come out of your mouth. Go, sit on your great throne of honor, which is yours between the men, your fathers. It is built. When he wanted to go and sit down, the master called his student and asked him and said to him, O Silmai, master of the house, a word is to me from the house of life about the orders peculiar to works and words, about the depths of Nazarutha and the interpretations about this world. Where did these firmaments come from? Where did they come from? They know what they are hanging on to, and how are they they enlightened. To this he replied, My father, these firmaments exist out of 7 heavy water mists that Tahil, by the power that Father Abathur gave to him, stretched out and lifted up. Between every single one of them has lights of brilliance, and they will be illuminated by the power of the kings. Then he said to him, Beautiful is what you told me. Beautiful are the secret words that come out of your mouth. Go, sit, get up, your great throne of honor, which was given to you between men, your fathers it is built. When he wanted to go and sit down, the master called him and said, Silmai, master of the house, a word is to me from my father's house about the orders, characteristics, and words, about the depths of Nazarutha, and the interpretations about this world that comes from, whence the sun, whence its nature, whence its heat, where its cold comes from, where its shine is from. To this he replied, My father, the sun is out of the earth, their nature is derived from the nature of the 7. Their heat and cold are from the heat and cold of Tahil. Their splendor is from the splendor of the 20th of the century of the mighty, the strange life, the sublime, which stands above all works. Then he said to him, Beautiful is what you told me. Beautiful are the secret words that come out of your mouth. Go, sit on your great throne of honor, which is yours between the men that your fathers have built. When he wanted to go and sit down, the master called him again and said to him, Silmai, master of the house, one word is 2 from the house of life about the orders, characteristics, and words about the depths of Nazarutha, and the interpretations about these, where the moon comes from, where its nature comes from, where its brightness comes from, where its convenience is. To this he replied to him, My father, the moon is out of the earth, and its nature is derived from the nature of the planets. Its brightness and pleasantness is of the brightness and pleasantness of the great beloved, the first Samziwa, of the man whose Shkinta was born over the 167 mighty upper worlds of light. Every world measures from himself 1,000 times 1,000 miles, and 10,000 times 10,000 shkintas rest in it, living in each individual shkinta 1,000 times 1,000 uthras, and from each individual uthra a shkinta is inhabited. Then he said to him, Beautiful is what you told me. Beautiful are the secret words that come out of your mouth. Go, sit to your great throne of honor, which is yours among men. To your fathers it is established. When he wanted to go and sit down, the master called his student again, and asked him and said to him, Silmai, master of the house, a word has come to me from my father's house about the ordinances peculiar to, and words about the depths of Nazarutha, and the interpretations, where the water comes from, where its nature comes from, where its good taste, where its strength is from. To this he replied to him, My father, the water is from the earth, his nature is of the nature of the 7. His power is from the power of darkness, and its good taste is from the good taste of the living water. Then he said to him, Beautiful is what you have told me. Beautiful are the secret words that come out of your mouth. Go, sit on your great throne of honor, which is yours between the men that your fathers have built. When he wanted to go and sit down, the master called his student and asked him and said to him, Silmai, master of the house, a word has come to me from my father's house about the ordinances peculiar to works and words, about the depths of Nazarutha, and the interpretations about this world, whence the fire, from what its nature, from where does it look, and where its smoke is from. To this he replied, My father, the fire is from the earth, his nature is from the nature of the 7, his power is by the power of darkness, and its smoke is from the house of Satan, Ismael. Then he said to him, Beautiful is what you told me. Beautiful are the secret words that come out of your mouth. Go, sit on your great throne of honor, which is yours between the men that your fathers it is built. When he wanted to go and sit down, the master called his student and asked him and said to him, Silmai, master of the house, a word is to me from the house of life about the orders peculiar to writings, words about the depths of Nazarutha, and the interpretations about this world. From where is the wind, from what is its nature, from where is its power, and whence its convenience is. To this he replied, My father, the wind is out of the earth. His nature is of the nature of the seven. His power is of the power of darkness, and its comfort is from the comfort of air waves. Then he said to him, Beautiful is what you told me. Beautiful are the secret words that come out of your mouth. Go sit on your great throne of honor, which is yours, between the men that your fathers have built. When he wanted to go and sit down, the master called his student and asked him and said to him, Silmai, master of the house, a word is to me from the house of life about the orders peculiar to works and words, about the depths of Nazarutha and the interpretations that come across this world. And he said to him, What are the superiors as for the lower things? To this he replied to him, The upper things are the firmament, the lower the earth. Then he asked him, Will the firmament become pregnant before the earth, or will the earth become pregnant before the firmament? To this he replied, My father, the firmament brings rain and dew, and the earth opens its mouth and absorbs it, then brings and produces fruits, seeds and fruits, of which the children of Adam eat and drink without thanking their Lord. Then he said to him, Beautiful is what you have told me. Beautiful are the secret words that come out of your mouth. Go, sit on your great throne of honor, which is yours between the men that your fathers have built. When he wanted to go and sit down, the master called his student and asked him and said to him, Silmai, master of the house, a word has come to me from the house of life about the ordinances, works and words, about the depths of Nazarutha and the interpretations that come across this world. Then he said to him, Who are the outer ones? Who are the inner things? To this he replied to him, The external things are the man who is inside the woman. Then he asked, Who is inside the woman? Then he asked him, Does the man receive before the woman, or does the woman receive before the man? To this he replied, The seed forms in the body of the man through 42 days. Then he gives the seed to the woman, to the stem, the root, and the copulation, and from then the marrow, the bones, and the tendons. Then he asked him, What does the woman give to the child? To this he replied, She gives him the blood, the skin, the pictures, the image, and the hair. Then he asked him, What is the origin of the child in the mother, and what makes it grow? To this he replied to him, The child grows through the 7 mysteries of his father and mother.